Hey, what's up guys? This is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a deck profile of my Darkest Diabolos Lord of the Lair deck. Now this deck is a much requested deck on my channel, and I really wanted to take some time to actually play around with these cards, play test with them, and see what I thought about it. So this is kind of a pure build where it's just mainly focused around Diabolos, not Infernoids or anything like that. I will be taking an Infernoid version of this deck, most likely, and I have a couple of different ideas for Darkest Diabolos, but I will put that in the community tab, so be on the lookout for that, guys. So let's get straight on into this video. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and down there in the right down there, don't forget to click that bell and check out my Patreon down in the description. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight on into it. So this deck is awesome. This deck is really, really fun. So first off, we play 3 copies of Darkest Diabolos, Lord of the Lair. And its effect is that your opponent cannot tribute him, and also he cannot be targeted with card effects. So he's already really crazy, because he can't be kaiju'd, and your opponent cannot tribute him. Or he can't be treated and he can't be targeted. And if a dark monster you control is tributed, you can special summon him from your hand or grave, which is really, really good. And then the other effect is that you can tribute 1 dark monster. Your opponent places 1 card from their hand on top of their deck, or on the bottom of their deck, which is really good. It's either the top or the bottom, whichever one they choose. But really, really good card, really crazy. And then it wouldn't be a dark deck without 1 copy of DarkArmedDragon, and plus it's DarkArmedDuelist. I like to shove DarkArmedDragon in any deck that I can. And this deck is a good deck to put it in because you can actually control the amount of dark monsters you have in your graveyard pretty easily. The next card is I play 1 copy of Destrudo. Destrudo is really, really good because it's just easy to get him in the grave, and the synchro monsters that we play really help out to kind of assist in eliminating the opponent, which is really, really easy to do by just paying the half life points to special summon him, and then you get to synchro. So really, really good. Only tuner we have in the deck, but he helps. Then we play 3 copies of Arima. Arima is really a new card, and what you do is you can discard this card to add a Lair of Darkness from your deck to your hand. So it searches the field spell, so it's like you're playing 6 copies of Lair of Darkness. Then you can tribute 1 dark monster to draw a card, or if you tributed a dark monster other than this, you can add a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck to your hand, which is your copy of Destrudo or your Darkest Diabolos. Those are the main 2 targets that you're going to be adding off of the Arima. So then we play 2 copies of Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight just helps us send our Destrudo to grave and helps us send our Skarm to grave, which is a little personal tech of mine. And our Steam, the Cloak, which is another card that we need to send to grave so we can get some tokens on the field so we can link summon. Then we play 3 copies of Lith, Lady of Lament. By far one of my new favorite cards. I really, really love her artwork, and her effect is crazier than her artwork. So her effect reads that you can tribute a dark monster to reveal 3 normal traps in your deck, and your opponent randomly picks 1 and you set it to your field, then the rest are shuffled back into the deck. Also, when she's normal summoned, her attack becomes 1,000, so it halves her attack, which is not too terrible. It's not a big deal to half her attack from 2,000 to 1,000. It can kind of suck, but you know, you can tribute her if you want to and get your search off. Then I play 1 copy of Tour Guide from the Underworld. Lith is actually searchable by Tour Guide, and she comes out at 2,000. Really good and great for overlaying or link summoning. And then we play 1 copy of Skarm, which is usually our Tour Guide target, because then Skarm can search Lith. Really, the only reason we play Skarm is because of that. And then for our last monster, we play 1 copy of Blackwing Steam the Cloak, because when it's sent to the graveyard, you get a token, which is really, really cool, and you get the ability to kind of link with him. And well, you do count him as a tuner, but I really don't synchro with him all that much, so I really kind of almost forget that he is a tuner in the deck, because I don't really synchro with him all that much. But usually it's just Destrudo that I synchro with. He is usually made for just token creation. But that's it for the monsters, guys. Kind of a small monster lineup. You don't really need that many monsters in this deck because you're going to be mainly focusing on summoning stuff from the extra deck. So that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells really quick. And we don't play too many spells. And if you guys are thinking, wow, I've got a tribute stuff for that, and you've never seen a Lair of Darkness deck before, just wait. So next we play one copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is just let's bring us back anything. We play one copy of Monster Gate because in this deck you can actually tribute your opponent's monsters to get off effects. So that's why we play one copy of Monster Gate, because it triggers like that. Foolish Burial, because instead of normal summoning the third Armageddonite, we might as well just play Foolish Burial. Since everything's dark, we play 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. 3 copies of the Fang of Critias. Now this is my MVP of the deck. Fang of Critias is by far the best card of the deck besides the Diabolos Lair of Darkness engine. Now what this allows us to go into is these 3 cards right here. It lets us go into the new Destruction Dragon, Mirror Force Dragon, and Doom Virus Dragon, which we play copies of all of the cards to correspond with it. Destruction Dragon lets us target one card on the field and destroy it. Then if it was a monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that card's original attack. Mirror Force Dragon is the craziest one of them all, and when your opponent targets a monster you control with a effect or with an attack, you destroy all monsters they control. This is the main one we go into with Fang of Critias, and Doom Virus Dragon basically is Crush card before it was eroded. Really, really good cards. Really love them. They really, really help. If you're going to play any form of Darkest Diabolos, you need to play Fang of Critias. Like, it is so pivotal to the deck. Like, I cannot tell you how many duels I have won just because of Mirror Force Dragon. I make this, my opponent just scoops, because they know they can't target it, and they can't attack against it, because I'm just going to blow their entire board. So, and plus we get to channel Kaiba, so why the hell not? So, anyways, then we play 3 copies for the final 3 spells. We play 3 copies of Lair of Darkness. Lair of Darkness is a card that I'm really going to have to read to you guys. All face-up monsters on the field become dark, and once per turn, if you attribute a monster to activate a card effect, you contribute 1 dark monster your opponent controls as if you do. So basically, you contribute any dark monster that your opponent controls because this makes everything dark, so you get to tribute your opponent's monsters for card effects, which is really, really good. Then, you get to special summon tokens onto the field up to the number of times monsters were tributed to the turn player's field. Like if I activate, it's my turn and I attribute 2 monsters on your field, I get 2 tokens at the end phase. If you tribute 2 monsters or I tribute 2 monsters on your turn, you get 2 tokens on your turn. Really, really good card. Really have to emphasize this card is really broken and really, really, really good. So that's it for the spells, guys. We really are more focused on the traps in this deck because this deck was based around the virus cards mainly. So let's get into the traps. So I play 1 copy of Heavy Storm Duster because all the traps are searchable by Lith. So a lot of them are 1-ofs. A few of them are 1-ofs, a few of them are 2-ofs. But 1 Heavy Storm Duster, really, really good card. 1 Ring of Destruction because we can only play 1 Ring of Destruction because it's still limited right now. And then I play 1 each of the viruses, which is Deck Devastation Virus, Full Force Virus, Eradicator Epidemic Virus, and then I play 2 copies, 1 of each artwork of the Crush card viruses. Now, each one of the viruses does a different thing, and they all have the same effect that you contribute a monster with a certain amount of attack points, and then after you tribute that monster, you get to destroy a certain type of card. Like, for instance, Deck Devastation is 1500 or less attack. Full Force Virus is 2000. I believe it's, let's see, all monsters they control and card effects they draw. Let's see, with 2000 or more defense, look at your opponent's hand. All monsters they control with 1500 or less defense. Eradicator Epidemic is my favorite because you get to call either spells or traps, and then Crush Card Virus is 1500 attack or more. So that's it for the viruses. And then I play 2 copies of Back to the Front because it's a searchable Monster Reborn, essentially. And 3 copies of Mirror Force because, like I said, it's mainly Mirror Force Dragon with Darkest Diabolos. Love this deck. But that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. Now, this is ideal. Okay, like, this is great. Now, the only thing that I would actually consider playing in here, and I just don't know where to put it, is Metaverse, where you can actually search like a terraforming, essentially, and and get your Lair of Darkness even faster. But I figured with Arima and playing 3 Lair of Darkness and how quick the deck thins, it wasn't really needed. But you could play it if you wanted to. So for the extra deck, we're going to play 2 copies of our Mirror Force Dragon. This card is the nuts and really, really good. I kind of already explained its effect, so I won't have to go over that again. Doom Virus, I play it 2 as well, and I play 1 Destruction Dragon because it's at 1. I mean, Ring of Destruction's at 1, and I don't want to play Loop of Destruction, so we just play that engine. I play 1 copy of Dark Strike Fighter because Dark Strike Fighter can end games really easily because it tributes a monster and then you inflict damage to your opponent times 200 to the monster's level. So it's like, if you tribute Darkest Diabolos, they're going to lose 1,600 life points. Or if you just tribute this, they're going to lose 1,400 life points, which can just end an entire game really quickly. 1 copy of Black Rose because it blows up the entire board. Ancient Fairy Dragon because it lets us thin the deck a little bit by popping our... what's it called? Lair of Darkness, and then searching out another Lair of Darkness. You could play Dragon's Ravine in here, but I don't see a real need for it. 1 Phantom Knight's a Break Sword because we got Tour Guide, and this is the main card that you're going to want to make anyways, because you contribute your tokens and then pop, or Scrap Dragon, essentially, your cards. But it targets and destroys it. It doesn't tribute. I wish it tributed. Then for the Link monsters, here's where this gets really interesting. So we're going to play 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon, and the reason we play this is because if you special summon a token to a zone that this card points to, you blow up all monsters. So it's essentially like a dark hole if you're on a losing position. If you've got Topologic Bomber Dragon, it's really easy to do that too, because you just put him in an extra monster zone and then tribute a couple of cards on your side of the field, knowing that you're going to blow your opponent's board, then blow them, like it just blows apart the board. 1 Borreload Dragon. Borreload is really easy to go into and it outs so many cards, so why not? Skull Dread because it lets us draw a lot of cards and get out what we need. Curious, the Light Sword Dominion. The reason I play this is because you can get a token because they're Fiend, a dragon which is like Darkest Diabolos, and a warrior which is like the Armageddon Knight, and link them together and make this, and then it's just really, really good to have on the field. Then I play 1 Master King Archfiend. Basically, he's just a 2000 walloping stick. The dice roll totally sucks. I cannot wait for Witch's Apprentice, the dark one that's going to come out. That's a Link 2. And then we play 1 Underclock Talker. Best Link 2 in the game. The other one that's really, really good to play is Nightmare Goblin, but we don't really need the extra normal summon, but this is pretty much the extra deck. And then we play the most important thing in the whole deck. The most important thing. I know what you guys are wondering, but here we go. Okay? Like, just follow me here. You've got to have them Torment tokens. You've got to have at least 5. Because you're going to make, on your field, so many Torment tokens. And these are by far, I just have to give a shout out to Konami. These are by far the best tokens they've ever made. These look crazy cool, and I love the way that they did the artwork. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I really enjoyed doing it. I'm glad I got to provide you guys with this deck. This deck is a lot of fun. It's really easy to build. You can build it with just... I mean, it's cheap, too. I mean, like, everybody's got some Mirror Forces laying around. Everybody's got, you know, a couple of these cards laying around. All that you'd have to really get is, like, the Fang of Critias and Ring of Destruction, and all the virus cards come in the Darkest Diabolos deck. So all you'd really need is to buy 3 of the Darkest Diabolos deck and have $10. I mean, you could do the majority of this besides the extra deck for like $10, besides this. I would value the deck, because I know a lot of you guys do that a lot. With some of the extra deck cards cut that you don't need, I would value the deck probably at like $50. 50, 60 tops. So, anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.